Camera shy.
Hello Earthlings, welcome or welcome back to my channel. We're gonna get straight into it because that's just how I'm feeling today. The magic word for today is gratitude. What is gratitude, you ask? Okay, well, according to Google, gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. I don't know why I paused there. That's like the rigid definition, but to me, gratitude is an act of reciprocity, the act of pouring back into whatever is pouring into you. And it's something that I've been practicing lately, and I've noticed a lot of changes in just the way that I think and the way that I move. So I think I began to make ritual of bringing things that I'm grateful for into my conscious mind about like a month ago. And when I say ritual, I mean I make it a conscious effort. Every day, I make it a point to write down at least 3 things that I'm grateful for. When I first learned of the art of being grateful, I think that it was around the time when I was first introduced to like the concept of a spiritual journey, 2020 or 2021, one of those years. And during that time, I was ingesting a lot of content surrounding the topics. One content creator that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, Trinity, she mentioned a lot about gratitude. And at the time, I just wasn't ready to receive the message, obviously, because I was watching and I was like, facts. But it took me like 2 whole years to get it down. And that's not even a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but it's just kind of funny how you'll have the answer sometimes and you won't even know what question the answer is for until it's time for you to know what question the answer is for. I'm not new to the concept of gratitude and making it a conscious effort in your daily life, but I just started practicing it. So, yeah. But I think it started about like a month ago, and every day I'll write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. They don't have to be like super deep. They don't have to be like your typical things that you'd be grateful for. Every day I'm not saying I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for the clothes on my back. Like back in the day, I used to think that every time I practiced gratitude, it had to be that. And if I didn't make it consciously clear that I was grateful for those things, that like I was a bad person. Obviously I'm grateful for those things, but I'm not going to write that down every day because that's just a given. I was looking back in my notes at one of the first few times that I did this writing exercise or whatever. And one of the first things I said I was grateful for, I was like, I'm grateful for bagels, because I didn't realize how much I liked bagels until I had that bomb ass breakfast, and I was very grateful for it. So I wrote that down, and that was that. And I went about my day. What about it? Sometimes I write like whole pages of one bullet point of that one thing I'm grateful for. It will be a whole page. Sometimes it's just a sentence, but I think it's just the thought that counts and the energy that you put into whatever you're saying. Because for me, as long as I know that I'm not just doing it to complete a task, then I'm good. Because if it ever feels like a task, then I won't do it, because it shouldn't feel like a task. It should feel like something I genuinely want to do. One thing I want to touch on though is, how can I be grateful for this meal that's not even in front of me yet? How can I be grateful for this meal and I can't even smell if it's fully seasoned? I can't touch it, I can't see it. Like, how can I be grateful for this thing? Let me think about that before I answer. Ooh, perfect answer. Okay, so my answer for that question that I just asked myself is, everything that we desire, everything that we ask for is already ours. It's already vibrationally in existence. And if you're not woo woo, then just understand that because you desire it, it exists. Because you can see it in your head, it exists. If you're desiring it, if you've asked God for it, you've asked Spirit for it, then it already exists. And all that comes into play now is the faith portion. I wrote down Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. It goes, ask and it will be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock, 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 and the door shall be open for you. And that's on what? So, whatever you ask for is already yours. So, if it's already yours, meaning the cup has been poured, then what do you say? Thank you. For me, this looks like just walking in whatever it is that I'm requesting, and which I'm still learning. Everything that I'm saying to you guys, everything that I'm saying in these new videos, it's like we're walking next to each other, because I don't even want to make it seem like I got all the shit together because I don't. I don't. Nobody does. So whatever I'm talking about, I'm experiencing it right now with you, with y'all, with y'all. What was I just doing? Whatever I'm saying is literally just off the fucking dome, even though I have notes right here. Hey, shake it, shake it, shake it. I think the solution to any anxieties surrounding being grateful for something that you can't see and feel yet is just, I said this in my last video too, reasonable delusion. You have to be just a little bit delusional, just a little bit. When reality starts to feel like a prison, sometimes a little bit of delusion is all you need to set yourself free. That's a proverb that I wrote. That's a modern proverb that you should live by because it works. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. I used to hate the word delusional because it sounds so no thoughts, just vibes. It sounds like that, but honestly, everybody's a little delusional. We all live in our own worlds. We all run it on our own time. What am I trying to say? Honestly, I wasn't even feeling like recording this, but I'm doing this out of sheer obedience because I got up this morning. I was like, I don't really feel like doing this. And God was like, sit your ass down and record this video. One other point I made in my notes was the relationship between gratitude and guilt. Can you heal guilt with gratitude? I mentioned something about this in my last video, but being like the one to end cycles, and it's really difficult and stressful, and it also comes with a lot of guilt. The only way I can describe this is by using an analogy. I think about first generation that was born to like newly freed slaves. We're talking about in America or the Caribbean or wherever. I wonder like how it must have been to be the child of somebody who was enslaved. Think about how that might have felt for both parties, but specifically for the party that was born free, because I imagine there must have been a lot of guilt, jealousy, a lot of anxiety, just like swirling around in that mess. I imagine that that can somehow be passed down through generations because like it's almost like you see the same pattern but just in a different setting. But just that relationship to wanting better, knowing you deserve better, being grateful for the better that you have and the better that is coming, but then feeling guilty because the people before you didn't get to experience that, or just don't believe that they can experience that, or don't believe that they are worthy of experiencing that. But then the guilt aspect, it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to you if you're also feeling that. So why am I feeling it? And I should just continue to be grateful for whatever it is that I'm grateful for. But you see how it's so cyclical. You see how it's so I know exactly the word I'm trying to say. But you see how it's so cyclical. You know the word I'm trying to say. So the struggle between practicing the art of gratitude and navigating guilt for me is like, so it looks like I write down a list of things that I'm grateful for. Let's say that includes something that I know is on the brink of happening, but just hasn't occurred yet. And then I feel this feeling, like this like icky, sticky feeling. Not why do I deserve this, but why didn't others before me get to experience this? But then that's such a toxic line of thinking because one, that's not my question to answer. And two, that's not my question to answer. Yo, I'm telling y'all, it's like mad different points of view in this fucking head. When I look back at this footage, I'd be like, who am I talking to? And what the fuck is going on in there? Guess we'll never know. Do I think it's important to explore that guilt, that feeling of guilt? Yes, because the more I explore it, the more I realize how stupid it is. For lack of better words, I realize how foolish it is to focus on that feeling. It doesn't bring me anything, or like I can't find the thoughts to speak about it now because I feel like I'm in a totally different space. I'm in a totally different space than I was when I first identified the feeling of guilt that came with being grateful. Shit, maybe that's the testimony. I'm in a completely different space. That's a good thing. Ooh. Yeah. Gratitude is necessary for elevation. And going back to the point of gratitude being just an act of reciprocity, because if I'm giving to you and you're not grateful for what you are receiving, it's almost like you're betraying yourself. Or it's almost like you're disrespecting yourself because you're not realizing the abundance that you're walking in. Hold on. Is that a word? Yes. If you do not practice gratitude, you disrespect the God within yourself because you're not identifying and you're not validating the abundance that lies within you. Wow. Okay. Before we end though, can we like acknowledge this top because it's so fucking cute and I love it. But the rules, yeah. Buy me things, feed me, take me home. But yeah, lately practicing gratitude for me, it feels like okay, you know when you lose something, you know when you lose an item, like your favorite item, say you lose it around your house and you're like, I know it's in here somewhere because I didn't take it out this house. It's only been in this environment, so it has to be somewhere in here. But in the moment, I don't feel like tearing up this whole place, so when I find it, I find it. And then, like, say a couple days pass or a few weeks pass, and then you're doing the most mundane task, and you see the item that you thought was missing right in front of you, and you're like, what the fuck? I went crazy thinking you were gone and you were right under my nose. That's what this whole thing feels like right now. The answer was right in front of my face the whole time. But I wasn't in the right mindset to see it. I was too upset about the thing not being right in front of my face or me not understanding it to even look and see that it was right in front of my face and that I did in fact understand it. It feels like a game, and not a game as in like everything is a joke thing, everything is for play, nothing is that serious, even though nothing really is that serious. But it feels like every time I reach new understanding, I'm like at a new level. And you know how each level in a video game, there's like the final boss you gotta beat, and there's like different booby traps around and shit. Fall into the booby trap, or you get your ass beat by the boss. Then you start the game over, you start that level over. I can identify so many periods of my existence where it's like a different situation but the same shit, and you don't realize it until after, and you're like, I did this before, so whose fault is it really? You do have a part in the play that you're performing in. Yep. And sometimes the script that we're used to reading from, it's so comfortable. Why the fuck would I ever want to pick up another script and memorize a whole new thing? The thing is, you don't have to memorize a new script. You can just improv. I find that in improv is where you can really see like the true nature of an actor too. I'm talking like I go to acting school and shit, but you know what I mean. I did a couple plays in elementary school, you know. I auditioned for a few Broadway shows or whatever, never got the part, but I think I know what I'm talking about. You could just see their true nature. There's no particular character to play. They're just being themselves and reacting how they think would be the most entertaining way or the most logical way to react to whatever stimuli is presented. That's what this whole thing is. Put the fucking script down and start to improvise. I promise you, you'll have more fun that way too. Reading from a script is comfortable, but it's exhausting and gets boring too. So try it out. Try practicing gratitude every single day. Get you a paper and pen and write down 3 things that you are grateful for. It doesn't have to be like a whole paragraph. Just even if it's a sentence, it's cool. As long as it feels right to you. Comment down below. Let me know if anything I said impacted you. If you could relate to anything I said. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, let me know. And have a good day, guys. See you in my next video. Peace.